Chapter 1. The Knock. You are nobody. And that is exactly why they want you. You are sitting in a diner on a Tuesday afternoon. Bad coffee. Rain on the glass. You are 3 months out of the military. Honorably discharged, no job, no plan, no real reason to be anywhere. You are just a man who is very good at being invisible. You never talked much. You never made enemies. You always followed orders without asking why. That is the combination they have been looking for. The man who sits across from you is unremarkable on purpose. Gray jacket, no tie. He orders water and doesn't touch it. He slides a single card across the table. No name, no logo, just a phone number. He says, "We've been watching you for 8 months. You don't flinch. That's another thing they noticed. He tells you almost nothing. He says the work is federal, but not government. He says it is legal, but not documented. He says the money is real, but the paper trail isn't. Then, he gives you 48 hours to call or not call. You pick up the card. You already know you're going to call, not because of the money, not because you are brave. You call because somewhere underneath the silence, you are hollow. The military gave you a shape. Civilian life took it away. You are a blade with no purpose, and you feel it every morning. So you call, and just like that, your old life ends. You just don't know it yet. Chapter 2. The program, the facility, is in a place that doesn't show on any map you've ever seen. You are driven there blindfolded. The drive takes 4 hours. Could be Virginia, could be Nevada, could be anywhere they want it to be. There are 11 other candidates when you arrive. Nobody uses real names. They call you by numbers for the first 6 weeks. You are 7. The training is not what you imagined. There are no guns on day 1, no explosives, no target ranges. Day 1 is a room, a chair, and a man asking you questions for 9 hours straight. Questions about your childhood, your fear, your limits, your father. The day you felt most ashamed, the day you cried and didn't want to. They are not learning your skills yet, they are learning your breaking points. Week 3, they stop letting you sleep more than 4 hours. Week 4, they put you in isolation for 60 hours. Not a dark room, a bright room. Pure white walls, white floor, white ceiling, light that never turns off. 60 hours of nothing. 2 candidates quit that week. You don't quit, but inside that white room, something happens that you don't tell anyone about. On the 40th hour, you start hearing your mother's voice. You start replaying every ordinary moment of your life. Your old bedroom, a dog you had, the smell of rain on hot pavement. And you realize with absolute clarity that you are willingly giving all of that up. The thought should stop you. Instead, it hardens you. Week 8. They teach you how to construct a false identity from scratch. Week 10, they teach you how to read a room and know within 90 seconds who holds power and who doesn't. Week 12, they teach you how to make someone trust you completely and how to use that trust as a weapon. The instructor tells you, manipulation is not evil. It is just communication with a specific goal. You write that down. Later, you hate that you wrote it down. At the end of week 16, only 4 of the original 12 remain. You are one of them. They call you by your real name for the first time in 4 months. It feels strange, like a word in a language you used to speak. Chapter 3. The first assignment. Your first assignment is in Tbilisi, Georgia. You are not there to kill anyone, not yet. You are there to get close to a man named Arkady, a mid-level arms broker who is laundering money through a ceramic tile company. Your job is to befriend him, earn his trust over 3 weeks, and extract a single name from his network. Just a name. It sounds simple. It almost is. Arkady is a warm man, funny. He has a daughter who draws horses on every piece of paper she touches. He takes you to dinner twice. He laughs too loud and buys drinks for strangers. On week 2, he starts calling you brother. You smile back every time. You extract the name on day 19, a text, 3 words. The operation is complete. You fly home on a commercial flight. Window seat, clouds below, and that is when it hits you. Not guilt exactly. Something worse than guilt. A kind of gray feeling that has no name. Because Arkady trusted you the way a man trusts a friend, and you wore his trust like a costume, and took what you needed and walked away. And you would do it again. That is the part that stays with you at 30,000 feet. The fact that you would do it again without hesitation. Chapter 4. The Ghost. 2 years pass like water through your hands. You complete 11 operations across 7 countries. You are good at this. Terrifyingly good. Your handler tells you that you read people better than anyone they have run in 15 years. Then comes the assignment that changes everything. They erase you. Not literally. You are still breathing, but your name disappears from every database they can reach. Your social security number belongs to a man in Ohio who died in 1987. Your military records are reclassified. Your old phone number is disconnected. If anyone tries to search for you, they find nothing. Or they find a ghost version of you, a constructed shadow designed to mislead. Your new name is Daniel Cole. You have a new birthplace, a new college degree, a new mother who calls you on your birthday and reads from a script and doesn't know your real name either. You are not a person anymore. You are an instrument. At first, this feels powerful. No past means no consequences. No record means no limit. You can walk into any room in the world and be whoever the mission needs you to be. But at night, in whatever safe house or rented apartment they've placed you in, you sometimes lie awake and try to remember what your actual face used to mean to you. Before it became a tool, before it was just another cover, you can't always remember. And that silence in your chest, that is when the fear starts. Not fear of death. Fear of disappearance. Fear that you have become so thoroughly someone else that the original you is already gone, already dead, already buried under 11 aliases and 47 lies. The worst part is you can't tell anyone. Not a soul on earth knows what you actually are. Chapter 5. The Mission in Beirut. Beirut. Your handler briefs you in a parking garage in Istanbul. The target is a man named Youssef, not an arms dealer, not a money launderer, an intelligence asset, a man who has been leaking identities of field operatives to 3 different foreign services for 18 months. People have died because of him. People like you. Your job is not extraction this time. Your job is termination. They don't use that word. They say resolution, but you both know what it means. You spend 6 days watching Youssef. He lives in a modest apartment. He has a routine. Coffee at 7. Walk at 9. He doesn't know you exist. You sit across from him in a cafe on day 3 and watch him read a newspaper and eat a pastry, and you feel absolutely nothing. And that absence of feeling frightens you more than the job itself. On day 7, you resolve the situation. It takes 11 seconds. You're on a flight to Frankfurt before noon. You don't sleep on that flight, not because you feel remorse. You expected remorse, and you could have handled remorse. You don't sleep because you feel efficient. You feel like a tool that worked correctly. And somewhere deep inside, the last version of yourself, the one who sat in that white room hearing his mother's voice, is looking at the man you have become. He does not recognize you. Chapter 6. The Fracture. They promote you. You now run a small team of 3 operators. You plan the missions. You brief the handlers. You are the one sitting across the table from new recruits in unremarkable jackets. You are the gray jacket now. And then comes the mission you cannot complete. The target is in Lagos. His name is Emeka, former government minister turned private intelligence seller. Your team has been watching him for 3 months. But on week 8 of surveillance, your team intercepts something they weren't supposed to find. A name in Emeka's communication logs. A name you recognize because it belongs to the man who recruited you. The gray jacket from the diner. Your handler. Your handler is selling information to the same people Emeka sells to. You sit with this knowledge for 4 days. You run through every possible interpretation. You eliminate them one by one. The conclusion stays the same. The man who built you is the leak. You are supposed to report it up the chain. That is protocol. That is what you do. Instead, you sit alone in a rented apartment in Abuja and stare at a phone for 6 hours because reporting it means entering a world where you don't know who is clean and who isn't. Reporting it means becoming a target yourself. Reporting it means your handler knows the same routes, the same safe houses, the same constructed identities you use to stay invisible. He built those. He knows every door. For the first time in 10 years, you are afraid of the organization that made you. Chapter 7. The betrayal. You make a mistake. It is small. Almost nothing. You probe a classified server from a terminal you thought was clean. It is not clean. Someone is watching that terminal. Within 48 hours, your handler knows you know. The first sign is your safe house in Vienna stops responding to check-ins. The second sign is your backup contact in Prague goes dark. The third sign is a man sitting outside your current location who wasn't there yesterday, reading a newspaper in the rain without turning a single page for 40 minutes. They are pulling the net closed. You have maybe 12 hours. You do what they trained you to do. You run. Not frantically, surgically. You pull the emergency kit from behind the wall panel. 3 passports, cash in 4 currencies, 1 untraceable phone, and a list of numbers you memorized and never wrote down. You become someone else in a train station bathroom. Different coat, different hair, different posture. You have rehearsed this moment so many times you can do it without thinking. But somewhere between the train station and the border, it hits you. There is no coming back from this. You were never officially real, which means, when they decide you are a problem, there is no legal system to protect you. No embassy to call. No rights to invoke. You are a ghost being hunted by the people who taught you how to disappear. You spend the night in a car, on the side of a highway in rural Hungary, watching the road behind you in the mirror. You think about the man in the diner, the card, the 48 hours. You think about the version of yourself who called. Chapter 8. The cost. 6 months later, you are in a coastal town in Montenegro that most people cannot find on a map. You have a name they don't know, a face with a scar they didn't put there, and a routine so ordinary it is almost unbearable. You drink coffee in the morning. You watch the water. You are alive. That is the full list of things you are certain about. You have transmitted what you found, about your handler, about the network, to a journalist in a country with strong press protections, through 3 layers of technical insulation. Whether it did anything, whether it mattered, whether anyone read it, you don't know. You will never know. Some days, you think about Arkady, the arms broker in Tbilisi with the daughter who drew horses. You wonder if he ever found out what you were. You wonder if it changed how he thinks about trust. You wonder if the name you extracted from him led somewhere that helped, or somewhere that hurt. You do not know. You will never know. That is the specific torture of this life, not the close calls, not the loneliness, not even the acts themselves. It is the not knowing, the complete impossibility of measuring what any of it meant. You gave your name, your face, your conscience, your ability to love anything without performing it. You gave all of it to a machine that does not keep receipts. And the machine goes on without you. New recruits sitting in diners, watching a card slide across the table. New gray jackets. New numbers. New white rooms. You watch the water. A child walks past on the dock below. She stops, looks out at the sea, says something to herself, then keeps walking. Ordinary, miraculous, completely unaware that the world she lives in is held together, badly, imperfectly, corruptly, by people who gave up the right to be known. You don't feel pride. You don't feel regret. You feel something that doesn't have a name yet. Something that lives in the space between those two things. You finish your coffee. You watch the water. You are a man who does not officially exist, sitting in a town that almost no one knows, carrying the weight of a decade that will never be spoken aloud by anyone who was not there. And the terrifying thing, the thing you will take to a grave that will have no name on it, is this. If that man in the gray jacket walked through that door right now and slid a card across the table, you aren't sure you'd leave it there. You thought this life would make you powerful. It made you permanent. Not in history books, not in records, not in memory. Permanent in the way a scar is permanent. Something happened here. It cannot be undone, and the world moved on without noticing. So did you.